What's up everybody, you're very welcome along to this week's Anfield Agenda One Football news show. The One Football app is of course entirely free, ladies and gentlemen. You can download it from the link in the description. That lets the guys at One Football know that we sent you. And most importantly, it's a damn fine app. Everything that you need, statistics, transfer stories, league tables for when the Premier League kicks off, everything for the Euros, all in one fantastic app. And I've got to be entirely honest, we couldn't do what we do without the support of the folks at One Football and many others. So please do download the app, use the link below, and look, let's get cracking because there's a lot of news stories to get through. The first story I wanted to have a look at today, ladies and gentlemen, revolves around the Liverpool goalkeeping situation. In particular, Adrian San Miguel. As I'm sure you're aware by now, Adrian has signed a new contract at Liverpool Football Club. He's made 24 appearances since joining the Reds in 2019, and as the article points out, he's a very happy man and very happy to be staying for another 2 years. It is important to note he did have offers from La Liga. He could have gone back there on a free contract as his contract with Liverpool had run out, but he has signed a 2-year deal and he's obviously delighted about it. This is what Adrian's had to say. I'm delighted and very happy to stay at the club. Firstly, because it's a reward from the club for the hard work that I've been doing since I signed 2 years ago. I really appreciate that confidence from the club and the manager and from everybody involved in the situation. Secondly, and above all of that, it's a pleasure to stay in Liverpool. It's such a big club, but being here as well as a family club, it's very special for any player to stay here. I am privileged. He certainly is privileged, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of us would love to live the dream and play for Liverpool Football Club, but the real point here is that it seems he's signing on to be our third choice goalkeeper. My initial reaction when I read the story was that Adrian was going to be promoted to the number 2 perhaps because Caoimhín Kelleher might go out on loan, but it seems as if Caoimhín's also going to sign a new contract and the plan is going to be that he is the club's number 2 and that Adrian is there as a number 3, which does make me feel a little bit calmer about the situation. I'd say we're most likely going to move Karius on this summer, ladies and gentlemen, so there's no point having 4 goalkeepers at the club. Karius, younger, obviously probably more marketable, and I'm sure that we'll recoup the initial 4 million that we paid from. The next story I wanted to have a look at, ladies and gentlemen, involves Neco Williams. Obviously away with Wales at the Euros right now, but that doesn't stop him being linked with moves away from Liverpool Football Club. Firstly, I was shocked when I seen this story because from everything that I've been led to believe and everything that I've read, it seems that Neco Williams was going to be staying on as a challenger or as backup to Trent Alexander-Arnold. That hasn't, however, stopped the links from being put out there. This story in particular revolves around Ralph Hasenhüttl wanted defensive reinforcements at St Mary's, and they suggest that Neco Williams could be the answer to that problem. It also goes on to talk about other clubs being linked, but for me, I'm genuinely shocked. I have read nothing to suggest that we're linked with bringing in a fullback. So unless Jurgen Klopp has suddenly lost belief in Neco, which I don't think, I have to say that this isn't one for me that I hold much water with because Neco Williams is shown a lot of promising ability for me. He's not the finished article, but then again, you think back, Trent wasn't the finished article either when he first started to come in and challenge Nathaniel Clyne, and then an injury for Clyne allowed Trent to come in and show what he can do. I'm not saying that Trent and Neco are the same player. I'm not saying that Neco can become Trent Alexander-Arnold, but I do believe that there's a very good fullback there. As is always the case though with these scenarios, you have to get the mixture right between allowing a player to develop and doing what's best for Liverpool Football Club. So Trent usually doesn't get rotated too much because he's a fit lad, and unless he's injured, Klopp likes to use him going down that right hand side. But I would like to see Neco get a few opportunities, and I'd love to know what you guys think about this one. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below around the Neco Williams story in particular, because I feel, hand on heart, that he has a future at Liverpool Football Club. I'm not saying that he's going to be another Trent, but he's certainly, in my opinion, good enough to progress and be there as cover if needed for Trent Alexander-Arnold, at least this summer anyway, because I can't see Liverpool going out there and spending money on another fullback unless they know something that we don't know, and it's transfer season. You just never know. The third story that I wanted to have a chat around, ladies and gentlemen, is around Neuhaus. Neuhaus, of course, midfielder, 24 years of age, plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach and is currently away at the Euros with the German national team. One thing about Neuhaus that interests me is that I had read an article to suggest that a deal was almost in place for him to go to Bayern Munich after one more year at Borussia Mönchengladbach. The player himself, however, did come out and poo-poo, for want of a better phrase, those rumours and say that he feels at home at Borussia Mönchengladbach and that there's simply no truth to it. but that hasn't stopped the links to appear. Of course, Liverpool look favourites to sign Neuhaus. All directions, or all signs seem to point to Florian Neuhaus arriving at Liverpool at some point, but Manchester City and Bayern Munich are still being linked with the player, as you can see from the story on the screen right there now. Now, do I think that Pep Guardiola is going to go and try and get Neuhaus from under Klopp's nose? I don't. Do I think that Liverpool are genuinely linked to Neuhaus and that Klopp wants him? You know what, I kind of do. He does seem like a Jurgen Klopp type of signing from the bits and pieces that I've seen of him. I've openly told you guys that I haven't been somebody that's watched Borussia Mönchengladbach religiously, but I have started to pay more attention to him. And there was a very good piece on Twitter. There's always very good pieces on Twitter from young aspiring journalists to go into detail on stats and stuff. But this article suggests that Liverpool are going to face stiff competition for the player, and I really feel if Klopp wants him, we get him. That's the way I see it. He's 24 years of age, as I said. He is away in international duty. And, you know, you usually can't go wrong with a good old German midfielder, can you? So, for me, this one, yes, I do believe we have interest. Do I believe that we'll be usurped by another club? No. I think if Liverpool want Neuhaus, they get Neuhaus this summer. And I think his future will be resolved after the Euro. So, certainly one to watch this space. The last story I wanted to have a chat around today, folks, is around somebody whose name I did not think I would be mentioning towards Liverpool Football Club, but that is Bayern Munich's Kingsley Coman. This article that you're looking at on screen right here now suggests that Liverpool's offer, if there is going to be an offer, could fall well short of Bayern Munich's €50 million price tag that seems to be on Kingsley Coman's head. Now, I believe, and the article also believes, that Kingsley's agent is just looking for better terms. He's a very, very talented footballer, and would I have him at Liverpool? Absolutely. I'd have him in a heartbeat. I think a lot of major clubs around Europe would be more than happy to have Kingsley Coman at their club. It goes on to link him to other clubs as well, PSG, Real Madrid, and many others, and you would expect that for a player of his quality. Now, I think the article itself points out the main angle here. His agent wants better terms for his client. He's running down his contract, he knows he's in a good position, and he wants better terms. It's as simple as that. So if you read between the lines there, it's basically saying, if we can get the deal that we want, he stays at Bayern Munich. If we can't, he moves on. And that's what I get worried about. I get worried about players like that their agents get involved. And look, of course the player wants more money. Of course the player wants to be rewarded for doing well. But when an agent comes out that brazenly and kind of lets it be known that his agent wants better terms or he's moving, you know, I wonder, is that the calibre of player we want at Liverpool? From a mental perspective, from an I'm all in type of perspective. Now, everybody's a right to get paid. I get that. Football careers are short. And as I said, I am a hypocrite because I would take Kingsley Coman because of his footballing ability. But I don't see Bayern Munich letting him go. Bayern Munich have gone out of their way to make sure that they load themselves up with young talent. You've seen that in the transfer business they've done recently. But if Kingsley Coman comes to Liverpool, will I be happy? Of course I'll be happy. He's an absolutely wonderful footballer. But for me, this is just more of an agent trying to get better terms for his client. So I think how this situation gets resolved is that Kingsley Coman will most likely end up signing a new contract at Bayern Munich, because look, they're a club doing really well. They're a club that has a new manager as well. Obviously we know that Julian Nagelsmann is stepping up there from his job at Leipzig to take over from Hansi Flick, who will in turn take over from Jogi Löw after the Euro. So to me, it would be nice, but not really one that I hold much water, or hold much weight to, I should say, excuse me. That brings to an end this week's edition of the Anfield Agenda One Football crossover news show. That's what I've given it the name for. I couldn't think of a better name for it, but there you are. As always, ladies and gentlemen, everything that we've spoken about here can be found on the One Football app, and there is a link to the app in the description of the stream. The app is entirely free, as I said at the start. You get everything that you need, all the Liverpool news stories, everything league table wise, everything statistics wise. They've got a cool augmented reality feature on there as well if you're an iPhone user, and keep an eye out for cool new innovative features coming really soon. Thank you for your attention as always. I'd love to know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Don't forget to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and we'll be back next week for an all new Anfield Agenda One Football news show. Lots of love, ladies and gentlemen, and as always, up the Reds.